Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
What? Dude. Fish on.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at circalasvegas.com.
This is Andy Rowe from RowPaint.com. If you've thought about finishing your garage floor, patio, or business, give us a call. We have dozens of floor coating options to fit a variety of budgets and tastes. From polishing to stone finishes, decorative chips, and more, RowPaint.com is the largest applicator of specialty coatings in the Treasure Valley. Let the official coatings company of the Broncos bring you a 5-star experience and product.
My husband and I are like, we should have done this sooner, and it really changes your garage. Like your garage is just so much cleaner, and it stays so much cleaner. I'm not really sure how that's possible, but it does, and it's literally my favorite room in our house right now. I would definitely recommend Row Paint to my friends, family, and neighbors. The outcome was amazing. The process was amazing. Row Paint was so awesome, and I am highly impressed, and I would use them for other things as well.
RowPaint.com. Power in people, pride in painting.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Wednesday to you. It's Lithia Ford of Boise Wednesday here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. You can view that full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. And John Mallory is there in the KTIK RowPaint.com studios downtown. It's Wednesday. We got our partnerships. So you're watching us on both KTIK social media channels and Bronco Nation News. A lot of kind of just hodgepodge type stuff, a lot of smaller stuff going on, Johnny. I got 3 or 4 things to throw at you today, but another cloudy, dreary day, but it looks like we're really, really close to finally getting some better weather here.
I think so. I was tuning into the KBOI weather when I was driving in. They said, at least by tonight, it's going to be clear skies. I think decent weather, but our boy Justin Schultz, man, he needs Mother Nature to be a softball fan for the next few days. Let's nail this thing or hit it out of the park, as they say in baseball, and have a fun Mountain West softball tournament. I know that's going on. And Schultz, if you're watching, you better win that thing, dude.
Yeah, they got 73 and sunny tomorrow, 76 and sunny on Friday, 80 and sunny on Saturday. Oh. Maybe I'll see you out there for the championship game, John Mallory, on Saturday. 80 degrees. And if you look at the 10-day forecast here after today, Johnny, nothing but sunny and high 70s and 80s here for the rest of the week. So looks like it's going to be finally starting to get some Boise spring weather here. But yeah, tonight for the big Meridian Broncos playoff game, John Mallory, going to be a little windy and a little cool. Oh, yeah, playoffs.
We are in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Single elimination tournament. We are the 6th seed out of 14, and we play our first round game tonight. This is the 6-11 game, like the NCAA tournament here. 6-11 first round matchup. So we'll see.
I hope you got your best pitcher on the bump.
We do. And I will. I don't know if I should bring up what happened last week, Johnny, but that that saved us about 2 or 3 spots. But I will say this, as I talked to the rest of some people around the league, most people had no problem with it and said they thought it was a good baseball move. So
I thought your strategy was just as educational for your team as it might have been a buzzkill for the other team.
I'm the guy. I'll say it real quick, Johnny. I'm the guy that 10-year-old baseball, second and third, tying runs on third. Last inning, I intentionally walked the other team's best hitter, loaded the bases, and then struck out the next guy, and we won by 1. And I felt bad doing it. There were some parents on the other team booing me that they were not happy with it. In 10-year-old baseball, intentionally walking a kid, but we were up by 1.
To talk about this.
It was the bottom of the last inning. We were up by 1. It was second and third. And that kid was by far their best hitter, so it was major respect. We put him on first. As you said, nobody really knew what was going on because you don't have to throw the 4 pitches, so he just ran down to first. And
you didn't even make with the pitches. You just gave him the bag.
Man, they wouldn't know how to do that. The kid would still lean over in the other batter's box and crush one. So it is what it is. I did feel bad. I do feel bad, but we did win the game. So if any of the other parents of the other team are watching or the coaches, I felt bad doing it. I apologize. My kids were just had a chance to win the game and did what I thought was best. And we walked to their best hitter. Mad respect for him. He's a heck of a player. He's like 7 feet tall and huge.
He's probably hitting 800.
Yes,
I get
yes.
it.
And then the next kid who I'll be honest, I know nothing about. It was no disrespect to him. I know no scouting reports or anything. We just took our chances. It was a full count. So we almost walked in the tying run. It almost backfired, but we got the strikeout, got the win. And that helped us get the 6th seed. So we'll play tonight and see what happens, Johnny. But is that a next?
BJ intentionally walks a kid in 10 under Little League baseball, and I get the strategy. I talked to a lot of people about this too. Like, can you believe what my friend did? Is this fair or foul? Some of them said foul. He's 9 years old. Let him hit. Get him out, BJ. And then other people are like, well, that's actually a pretty good baseball strategy. If he's the best player in the league, you walk him and face the other guy. I love it, BJ. And now here you are, the 6th seed because of it. That's a really funny story.
We would have been the 8 or 9 seed and have to play the number 1 seed. So
weren't they like screaming, like chanting Bush League, Bush?
They weren't. They were yelling Bush League with some other words that I don't know if we should say on the show.
They're 9
years old. Let them play Bush League. Come on, boom! But
what do you guys think? Is that fair or foul to intentionally walk a kid in 10 under baseball?
Hey, our friend David Motes says respect.
Game.
Respect for Motesy. Come on, he's a coach. He gets it. You got to win the game. You got to win the game. Is it disrespectful to foul the other team's best player if he's a bad free throw shooter? I mean,
but you can't just make with the 4 pitches. Go tell your pitcher, hey, we don't want to pitch to him. We just want to walk him.
Next time,
throw 4 balls. Don't just give him the bag.
Yeah, we've never practiced that, and in this league they can probably still hit it.
Totally.
Perry says bully baseball. Tyler says that's baseball. Nothing wrong with it. I got intentionally walked all the time in Little League.
Wow, 10 and under.
Guy says good strategy. The kids got to learn sometimes. Perry said bully baseball, though. I mean, I don't know. You're doing what you got to do. It was one of those things.
You wanted to win. You wanted to win,
but you don't feel good about it. But you don't feel good about it. But Robbie agrees. That's clean. No foul. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I feel much better about it. We'll see tonight. Maybe I'll do it again tonight if the opportunity pops up. We'll see.
Playoffs, I don't have a problem with it at all. And I don't really have a problem with it to begin with. I just think it's hilarious that you walked a 9-year-old because you didn't want to face him, and then you struck out the dude who came behind him. The strategy worked perfect. BJ.
It was when it was like it was a 2-0 count, and then it was a full count. So I'm like hiding in the corner of the dugout, thinking, okay, these guys, they were just booing me. Now they're going to be mocking me when it works to their advantage, and we walk in the tying run here. But
winning run was on second, though, not third.
Tying run on third. Bottom of the last innings. There wasn't going to be extras. We were either going to tie or lose if the guy would have scored.
Pitch to the kid. You can get outs in baseball. You couldn't just pitch to him.
30 seconds ago, you said you had no problem with it. Shut up.
I don't. All right, let's get into what we need to get into today.
Yes, a lot going on. Johnny, by the way, we did sell 2 more foursomes yesterday for the afternoon for the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. I'm looking forward to having you guys out there doing your show. Early morning emails this morning with Tom Scott. We have locked in the details. We're going to have the Pastry Perfection Donuts back out there, the Degenhart Dozens, Tyson's going to be back out there. So we're going to have all kinds of food, all kinds of drink. R&R Barbecue providing the lunch this year, Johnny. It's going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to it. And again, we do have a couple foursomes left. Johnny's going to be Johnny, I'm actually excited for you. You're going to be kind of rolling around with me on the golf cart, hanging out, meeting folks, chatting. You've played the last couple of years, but I think this year you're going to be a man of the people and just kind of help me get some video and talk to folks. And I'm looking forward to having you out there hanging out, man. It's going to be fun.
That's going to be a fun tournament. It's creeping on up, end of the month. It's kind of a summer kickoff for a lot of people, the BNN tournament, and I'm excited about it. I love getting out to Timberstone, BJ, ready to rock and roll. And this will be a fun experience for me, getting to meet and greet a lot of people as far as just, as compared to just being with one group like I had been, and looking forward to it.
It's 3 weeks from Friday. 3 weeks from Friday. So there is Lithia Ford of Boise. They're giving away that free vehicle again. There's Coach Rice. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, raising a lot of good money for the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, and really excited about this. A lot of former, current players are going to be out there, football, basketball, a lot of coaches. So
camper sighting.
Yeah, there he is. Winston, your boy Winston. And if you want in, again, that also includes the opportunity to come to the pre-party the night before, which I'm hoping you're going to stop by, Johnny, after your show, 6 to 8 on the Thursday at Stein Distributing. Coach Spencer Danielson will be doing a Q&A up on stage. You want to MC that, Johnny? You and Spencer up on stage?
No.
Tust already said no, too, so maybe I'm stuck doing that myself. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. We're going to have, I know, Ahmed Hassanin, Matt Lauder, Andrew Simpson coming to that event as well on behalf of Lithia Ford and their NIL deal. So a lot of players coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, couple foursomes left in the afternoon. Let's sell this thing out. We don't want to have any kind of gap in the afternoon. Let's sell this thing out. May 31st, going to be a lot of fun. Timberstone Golf Course. Email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, rains@bronconationnews.com, or go to bronconationnews.com/golf for more information. And again, that is 3 weeks from Friday. All right. I wanted to start basketball, Johnny. Spencer Danielson is talking with the media today, which, by the way, we keep talking about, first and things that Spencer Danielson is doing, especially in the media relations side, that we haven't had in a long time. I'm not sure we ever had in my 11 years here, the two previous head coaches just do a random media event in May just to kind of catch up with people and questions we might have. Typically, you got him at the spring game, and then you saw him at media days. So to get Spencer Danielson, he is just going to hold kind of a informal media scrum today to answer some questions and kind of put a bow on the spring and look ahead to the summer and fall. And so looking forward to talking to Spencer Danielson. I will get your questions that you might have for Spencer Danielson coming up a little later in the show. But first, the NIL basketball tournament. I don't know if you've seen much about this, talked about this much. This new, revolutionary type tournament in Las Vegas, 8 teams, and we're talking 8 big brands, and this impacts Boise State for multiple reasons, John Mallory. But they've got 7 of the 8 teams. Next year, it's going to go to 16 teams, and this kind of reminds me of that Phil Knight Nike tournament they did, where it was all the big brands and stuff, all the big Nike schools, would go there and do this tournament. They're picking big brands, they're picking big, groups, but the big deal here is $1 million per team for playing in this tournament goes to the collective of the school, and then the collective can turn around and pay the players essentially an extra $50,000, $75,000 just for playing in this tournament. They do have to do, a couple charity events and things while they're in Vegas, so they can actually have a reason to make this money. It's a workaround, but it's essentially a pay-for-play thing. You play in this tournament, and each player on your roster is going to get a share of $1 million, and then the winning team in the tournament, John Mallory, gets another $1 million. We talk about the TBT tournament playing for $1 million. Now, how cool that is. Literally now, if you win this tournament in Las Vegas, you're getting 50, 75 grand if you're a player on this team. And this impacts Boise State in 2 ways. Number one, well, first of all, what do you think generally of this idea?
I love it. I think it's terrific. And I think Boise State should be jealous that they aren't in it or something like that. A lot of teams should be. This is such a great selling point. Recruiting, whatnot. Yeah, we don't have a ton in our collective. However, we're going to this, holiday tournament, wherever it would be, this case, Vegas, and it comes with this type of price tag. So everybody's going to get, say, $40,000 or $50,000. We can give you that We can promise you that. I mean, that's a nice, most schools, most kids don't get that for a season. This is going to be a weekend. So I'm on board. I think the college bowl system, needs to go in this type of direction too, where you can enhance players' interest level by saying, hey, the winning team gets this. The MVPs of the game, offense and defense, get a car plus $100,000 if you're MVP of the game. I mean, you want a quarterback to maybe stay and play in a bowl game that maybe they wouldn't. Or maybe if he thinks he's got a pretty good chance to win MVP of that bowl game and he knows the price tag that comes with it. So I hope this is where we are now. This is the future. We're not putting the toothpaste back. Dudes are getting paid now. So either you get yours or you're going to fall behind. So yeah, I do like the idea, BJ, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this.
All right, 2 ways it impacts Boise State. Number one of the reported teams in the tournament this year, Johnny, San Diego State. So a team in the Mountain West Conference can now recruit and can now, have this situation where they know they're getting a guaranteed $1 million into their collective. That's a game changer for a San Diego State in this league.
Absolutely, and I'm happy for them. And I think San Diego State has earned this. Brian Dutcher, his players, that program, those fans, that arena, the care factor. I mean, I've spent time in San Diego. San Diego State basketball is a big deal down there on the San Diego sports scene. BJ, they don't have an NBA team. This is that for them. So I'm happy that San Diego State got this opportunity to play in this game. Good for them. Boise State should aspire, and I'm sure they are, to be a San Diego State level type of program that wins NCAA tournament games and then gets cool things like this as a result. Good for the Mountain West. Good for that logo to be in this tournament. Good for that program. Yeah, not great for Boise State and the other Mountain West teams. They're like, well, they get $1 million and we don't. But I mean, that's the new world of college football. The haves and the have-nots try to be a have and not a have-not. So hopefully Boise State at some point can start doing this thing too.
Okay, so the other negative to this is Rutgers, who I know everyone says Rutgers, really, who cares about Rutgers? Like, they've actually got like 2 or 3 of the top 5 players in the country. John Mallory, they are a preseason top 25 team on like Gary Parrish and a lot of the, they're like number 19 or something, but they somehow brought in some, maybe it's NIL money, I assume. They brought in a ridiculous recruiting class for a Rutgers, and they are in the top 25, and they were expected to kind of be one of the headline teams in the Cayman Islands Classic. And they are apparently in one of the reports yesterday, one of the teams in this tournament, which means they are backing out of the Cayman Islands Classic, which means one less quad 1, quad 2 game for Boise State in the Cayman Islands Classic. Mississippi State, the only other Power 5 team that was also in the field, also has reportedly backed out of the tournament. And the field right now is not good at all, Johnny, for the Cayman Islands Classic. Now, we saw last year Boise State played a tough tournament, tough East Coast trip, and went 1-3. Now you're looking at where Boise State's probably going to win this tournament or almost has to win this tournament, but you're still looking at a situation kind of like Utah State in this tournament last year where you get 3 wins, but none of them are really wins to help move the needle in terms of the resume. So I guess, I don't know. It's not ideal right now. And so the field's not good. I'm going to look it up here while you're talking, but I'm curious if Boise State, there's a fee you have to pay to back out, but I saw the Diamond Head Classic in Honolulu has some better teams, but not a Mountain West team yet. And they're still looking for 2 teams. I wonder if there's a situation where, Boise State backs out of this tournament and tries to find a better opportunity, or you just say, you know what, it's the Cayman Islands. These kids deserve it. It's the best we can do. It's 3 games and hopefully 3 wins and a good team bonding experience. And at least record-wise, Johnny, they could have a better record than last year in the preseason, but obviously wouldn't be the marquee wins. What do you make of the tournament field not being great right now?
Yeah, couple of ways. One, maybe this is a better route to go to stay in this tournament and hopefully have a better chance to go 3-0 in the tournament. Last year, they very well challenged themselves in the non-con, and I don't think it bit them in the butt. They still made the tournament. I think it toughened them up. Everything that staff wanted out of that non-con, I think they got. They would have liked a couple more wins, didn't get it. However, the NCAA committee didn't give a rip. They didn't look at that. Boise State was sent to Dayton with all that stuff. Maybe the Utah State approach or whoever else does it is better. Go into the tournament, NCAA tournament, with less than 10 losses and around 30 wins. And Boise State's getting a reputation nationally now, or they should, going to 3 consecutive tournaments, that these guys know what they're doing here, and they play a really good brand of basketball, and they are an upper echelon Mountain West program, and that should mean something. Hopefully they've built a little bit of cachet, BJ, where their record can speak for itself. I don't need to open up all these pages and go to all these rankings and discredit victories or discredit the record. Feels to me that the committee doesn't do all that much, because case in point, look at all the teams who had better positioning than Boise State did last year in the NCAA tournament, and they didn't have the non-con. They didn't test themselves the way Boise State did. So I could say still stay in this tournament, just do you, be you, get the wins. Plus, last year's team had played together longer. They knew each other better. They had the benefit of the Canadian trip. This year's team doesn't have that. So maybe it would be nice to get to know each other and play better as a unit over these early season games and get wins. Now, on the other side, I like your idea. Well, hey, these 2 teams are backing out. This isn't what you sold us. I'm sorry, Cayman Islands. You didn't sell us this tournament. If you would have, we would have said thanks, but no thanks. So we're going to explore other options to get in a better field to be able to check our non-con boxes. And this doesn't do it for us. So if Leon wants to back out of this and JD wants to write that check and they can find a sexier tournament as far as opponents to go into and challenge themselves more in the non-con like they did last year, dude, I'm cool with that plan too. To me, there's a couple different ways to skin the cat on this thing, and I think both of them, BJ, can get you the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which is a 4th consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament.
Well, we saw David Moats was watching earlier in the show. Maybe he can come in with a comment and let us know what the thoughts are here on this. Why not?
Let's just send him the link. Let's just bring Moatsy on the show. Email Moatsy the link. Let's hop him on.
I do not know the answer. I mean, Bill says you have to have the inside scoop here. They're for sure trying to get out of this tournament, correct? No, I don't know that to be the case at all, Bill. I don't know. I think if there's better opportunities, you would have to at least pursue them. I also don't know what the fee is to get out of this tournament. It's not like Boise State Athletics has just millions of dollars sitting around to pay exit fees for tournaments. I also know, as Johnny said, I mean, 4 or 5 days in the Cayman Islands, that says that regardless of who you play, that's not the end of the world. So if you could get in the Diamond Head Classic, I believe it has better teams and still needs a Mountain West team. That's over Christmas. But right now, Johnny, you're talking about Duquesne, who's up. You know, they might actually get Bronny James. They're actually an okay team. But that's the headliner right now, other than Boise State. But you've
Committee's not going to care if you beat Duquesne, though, and you know this. I don't care what their rankings are. That's not going to move the needle, is it?
No,
Duquesne and the Cayman Islands and on Christmas.
That might be a quad 2 game or something, but otherwise you got Old Dominion, you've got High Point, Missouri State. I mean, we're not talking about cream of the crop name recognition teams here. So again, I see both sides of it. I do agree with you that it's almost like hey, it's going to be 3 wins, win the tournament, have a good time, get some wins, and really start to get the mojo going before the harder games pop up. That's certainly something I could see that. And again, we just don't know. I mean, Boise State played that tough schedule and didn't get rewarded for it, but they also lost a lot of those games. I still think if they call a foul, if David Hall calls a foul and Roddy Anderson gets fouled in the Washington State game and they beat Washington State, that the seeding is a whole lot different because of what Washington State ended up doing. But I mean,
they might have sent Wazoo to Dayton, and Boise State might have been on Wazoo's line, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, we also saw like a New Mexico or like a Utah State, like those teams did tournaments like this, played games that were pretty easy. They had a much easier non-con schedule, got more wins, but they weren't really rewarded for it either. So, if you're going to play the harder games, you got to win them. We do know that Boise State's got believed to have Washington State coming back to CenturyLink Arena. They've got Clemson coming into Boise. They have to play at San Francisco. They're trying to get another game over there in Idaho Falls, I believe, as well. So, I mean, they're going to have some tough games. And I guess maybe you play this easier tournament, but you try to go get 1 or 2 harder non-conference games that you weren't going to do if you don't have to do this? Or again, we don't know what the other options are. But I do not have any kind of confirmation that they are or aren't trying to get out of the tournament. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I don't know. I'm just saying, looking at it on paper, Johnny, I can see both sides of it. But if you're strictly trying to play the best schedule you can, this tournament's no longer doing it for you.
Yep, then you get out. If that's what they want to do, I'll support that. I'm cool with that. And I think the fans would probably like to see them play better teams, more known teams. But if they choose to stay in this tournament and collect some wins and go that route, let's do that too. I mean, just, try to win the games and get out of the non-con with hopefully no more than 2 losses in your non-con. Then if you win your 12, 13 Mountain West games, you're dancing again. I mean, it's pretty simple as that. I mean, it's tough to win the games, but that's a good blueprint for it. Get out of your non-con fairly unscathed, do what they've been doing in the Mountain West, and they're going to be partying on Selection Sunday, hopefully not prepping for Dayton this year too. Wouldn't that be another buzzkill?
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's keep the basketball talk going in just a second. But first, want to tell you about Cutwater Spirits. More than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate or that outing on the golf course. Been telling you about rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Concrete coatings, whether it's the interior, exterior painting of your home. We're already scheduling Row Paint to come out, Johnny, the day we close on our new house to get some stuff done. And it's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to it. The best in the business. Official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Check them out. All your painting needs at roepaint.com. That's rowpaint.com. Tonight, 8:15, Tyson Degenhart, Idaho Central Credit Union. We have a special edition tonight, Johnny. His girlfriend, Brooke Thompson, on the softball team, going to make her first appearance, our first relationship on the show tonight. Looking forward to that. The Mountain West Tournament tomorrow, correct, Johnny? 12:30 tomorrow, Boise State softball plays. So we're going to have a special edition tonight of the Tyson Degenhart Show. We'll talk about the new roster additions. We'll talk about the roster. And then we're going to talk a little softball with pitcher Brooke Thompson coming up tonight at 8:15. A little later start than usual. I got that playoff game tonight, Johnny. So 8:15 start for the Tyson Degenhart Show. And again, that's presented by our friends at Idaho Central Credit Union. ICCU.com, the easiest online mobile banking experience out there. Check them out for yourself at ICCU.com. 13 locations around the state of Idaho for Ridley's Family Markets. Check them out, shopridleys.com. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. And I love that Cuno location, Star location as well. Ridley's Family Markets. Check them out. Find a location near you at shopridleys.com. And Matt Bauscher, again, he's helping us buy a home, helping us sell a home. I knew the numbers said he was number one, but I'm finding out firsthand why that is. Unbelievable customer service, unbelievable attention to detail. He's aggressive when he's making these counter offers, trying to get the best offer he can. I'm very happy to have Matt Bauscher helping us with our home buying and home selling needs here. 243-8222, BauscherRealEstate.com. All your needs in terms of what doesn't matter how big or small the home is. Matt Bauscher and Kelly and the whole team will take care of you. Highly recommend Bauscher Real Estate, and really is the best in the business for a reason. Check them out again, BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Johnny, tomorrow, Thursday, 9 a.m., we will unveil with a live interview from someone very, 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 very far from Boise, at a very different time zone than Boise. Making this happen, we will unveil the second member of the TBT team for Boise State, the once a Bronco alumni team. We last had you on Wednesday, the day before this happened on Thursday. James Reed came on, announced the return of the team. It's going to be really exciting. The first player announced, Justinian Jessup. And to every Thursday in our partnership as the media partner of the TBT team, every Thursday, we'll have a live interview as we unveil the next player on the team. I'm telling you right now, it's someone that is overseas playing and very far away tomorrow for our second player. Just your general thoughts on once a Bronco coming back here.
I like it. I think it's going to be fun. The roster is spectacular for this thing, and I think James Reed's going to do a good job kind of, manning the ship, coaching this team, general managing what needs to be managed, and looking forward to getting to that event they're going to do at Bora. So this will be a fun, July 17th, this, there's like jack and squat going on in Boise, Idaho during those days. So I know you're going to be leaning on this team and this tournament for some coverage and some Boise State stuff. I'm sure we'll bring it up occasionally here and there on IST as well, right? I mean, this is coming off Mountain West Football Media Days, so we'll be juggling that and then this. But I like this tournament. I've been watching TBT for over a decade. I remember watching this when it wasn't even really a thing, and now it gets bigger every year. And it's cool that some players that I've covered and some players that I've gotten to know, heck, some players that I'm buddies with are on this team, and I'll be rooting for them.
Matt Boucher, Abe Jackson, Nick Duncan. Who you got in the Legends bracket of the 3-point contest here?
Matt Boucher, no question. I think Boucher's going to put on a show all day, every day. Matt Boucher.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Again, tickets just $10 at Bora High School. Make sure you check it out on the 17th. Dunk contest, 3-point contest, and a full game. And again, the current players will take of the current Boise State team will take part in the 3-point and dunk contest. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Okay. And again, 9 a.m. tomorrow, we will unveil the next player on the team. So don't miss that. Johnny, today, as I said, 1 o'clock, I believe it is, over there at the Blameyer, kind of an impromptu. It's not going to be in the press conference team room, just up in the recruiting lounge, just get a chance to ask some questions of Spencer Danielson here in May. I really want to get into Ashton Jeanty, and I don't know what he's willing to say, but just hanging on to him in the transfer portal and how big of a deal this really is and what was really going on behind the scenes. And I don't know if he'll get into that much, but I think we all believe that Ashton Jeanty staying at Boise State is just an absolute monumental thing. We keep seeing these running back lists coming out where he's top 5 running back in the class next year.
Good class too, by the way. Anybody out there saying next year's running back class is weak isn't paying attention. It's really good. And Ashton Jeanty is a big part of that.
And I just think like maybe we know it's a big deal, but are we not, maybe we're not even making a big deal. Like maybe it's a bigger deal than we're even saying. Like, do we really realize how big of a deal this is that Ashton Jeanty, a player of his caliber, and had several much bigger money offers or had to have in the portal, decide to stay at Boise State. I'm just curious what Spencer Danielson's willing to say about that, what that means about Ashton Jeanty, and just how truly big of a win it was when that portal closed last week to hang on to a guy like Ashton Jeanty. So that's probably my main thing. Couple roster questions. We can get into the quarterbacks a little bit, some injury stuff, but there's not any kind of pressing issues. What do you got on your docket, or what do you want to hear from Spencer today?
Maybe something regarding the offensive line and how that shaped out in the spring. Not a sexy question at all, but his confidence in left tackle all the way to right tackle, where this line is coming together. I don't know if you want to ask him about anybody that's not with the team anymore. I mean, did you let CJ Tiller know that he's QB3 and that's what he's going to be this year? And
I think
that's why
fair.
he wanted
Fair
to
to
leave.
That's fair.
Do fans care about guys that aren't on the roster? I don't know. You get 10 minutes with them. Do you want to have Spencer talk about a guy who's not on the team? But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested there. If there was, because CJ was all about staying, and I believed him on that. And I believe that CJ was told this isn't going to be a spot you're going to be able to play in the next couple of years. We have, a sophomore and a freshman ahead of you. And, you might want to go somewhere else. So that too, Jeanty is a good stuff. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, the secondary, how you going to get Ty Benefield to be a starter on this team? He wasn't last year. Typically, BJ, I think maybe he started a game. Did Ty Benefield start a game last year? Maybe if a player was injured. I know he played a ton.
I believe so. But
I mean, Ty Benefield needs to be on the field as much as possible this year for me. So maybe there too. And we'll see. Something like that.
Yeah. And again, there's no news that we're expecting. I'm going to ask about the uniforms. That's kind of a dumb question, but they're supposed to get new uniforms this year. Has he seen those? What does he think of those? What's the plan for those? I believe that Boise State sent the new uniform design to EA Sports. So I believe that's going to be in the new game, Johnny. So at some point before the game comes out, they're going to have to probably announce those.
That game's out in like 2 months too. That's going to be a crazy deal.
Have you are they doing the pre-purchases yet? Have you pre-bought your copy? Or
I don't even have a console anymore. I don't play video games. Dude.
I don't either. My kids play Fortnite and stuff, but I'm going to be pushing them out of the way. I got to probably get this game, man.
I don't know if I'm going to do that. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go spend I don't know, $1,000, buy a new console, buy this game, do all that stuff, and manage a college football team again. I mean, I was great at this 20 years ago, and I told you, I named every single player one year before you could buy the package or the memory card to name guys. Me and my roommate, it took us 2 weeks, but we did every team. I was calling sports information departments saying, who is this defensive back? It says he's number 16, but there's no number 16 on your roster. Like, seriously, I was sending those emails. And they're like, oh, it's this guy. We had to give him this number because number 6 was taken. So we gave him, or number 16 was taken on offense. So we gave him number 6. I mean, that's how in depth I got into this game. I mean, I was taking the Idaho Vandals to BCS games every single year, even when this is the best part about that game. Like, you take a team, like I took Idaho, and I've over my 8-9 year run with the Vandals, all the Heismans, all the Natties, all the awards that came with that. I left to go coach another team. And for the next 5-6 years, the Vandals were still like preseason top 5. They were running through their schedule because I had built that program. I had all those good players there, and they kept it going. You want to talk about video game gratification? Sitting on my couch in my underwear, drinking and smoking and doing stupid stuff, sitting there in appreciation. Like, yeah, the Vandals are still good after I left. Nerdy stuff like that is why this game is cool. But BJ, I'm 40 now, man. I just don't think I'm gonna get into it like I was 20 again. I don't think I am, man. We'll see. I'll probably get that itch and go spend all the money and do it because it's probably gonna be awesome. But yeah, it came a little too late for me. We kind of missed our window, man. But the younger guys will love it. So you're gonna do it, huh?
I mean, I got my kids, so I can just I can play against my kids and stuff. I'd rather make them play this than play Fortnite and the other stupid games they play.
Yeah, I mean, this was a 40-hour-a-week commitment running the Idaho Vandal program in that game.
What did my
roommate? That's all we did, man. We didn't have girls coming over. We weren't kissing girls. We were playing video games. We were losers. That's all we did.
I can't hang out tonight. I got to make some recruiting calls.
Oh, yeah, no, season's over. It's recruiting. That was a huge night for us. The recruiting, building the roster. That game is awesome, and it sucks you in because it fills the dream of you being a coach / athletic director. And I just want to know how they're going to incorporate collectives. Like, if you're at Ohio State, they're saying, okay, your collective is, you have $18 million in here. You can use that $18 million to pay recruits. How are they going to get all this stuff in the game? If they don't, I think a lot of people will be disappointed. The best thing about that game is you have to be as real. If it's in the game, it's in the game, right? The old EA Sports line. So they need to be able to have all this stuff. Like, are there going to be boosters? And you go to booster functions, like all this stuff to raise NIL profile. That's probably getting really nerdy, but it's gonna be taken to another level, dude.
I got 2 questions off of that. Number one, what did the SIDs say when you emailed? Were they ever asking, like, what did you ever tell them it was for this reason? And were they curious 100%. About that? What did they say?
100%. I said,
any pushback?
I am naming. Yeah, well, a lot of people just wouldn't respond to the email. This would have been in 2003, 2004. I think Larry Fitzgerald or Carson Palmer was on the cover that year. That's how much we played it. And yeah, I would email the SIDs and say, we're trying to name these guys, and we have everybody on the roster named except these 2 guys. And this might have been Louisiana Lafayette. You have a corner that you list as number 26 on your roster. And, we printed out all the rosters and went to the magazines. We're like, who is number 26? And then the SID would email back and say, actually, it's number 36 on our roster. We had to give him 26 in the game because we have a guy on offense or something that is also number 36. And I can't remember if they had the double numbers then. They probably did, but it was weird stuff like that. And we were tracking down. We wanted every player named. Like I said, it took us 2 weeks. But man, that was fun when we finally had it done and we sat down and cracked open a beer and toasted it and said, okay, this is going to be the best dynasty we've ever done. We've named everybody. I would also do it for gambling, BJ. I would simulate games. I remember, okay, look back, 03 or 04, Louisiana Tech, Luke McCown was the quarterback. They beat an FBS team at the time, whatever, Iowa State or a Big Ten team. And I remember going on NCAA football and simulating that game in the actual season, and La Tech won. And I was like, yeah, La Tech's better. Luke McCown is a good quarterback. And I remember betting on La Tech that game, and they won. Like, I would use it as a sample and simulate games. It was a hell of a resource, man. Yeah, again, I shouldn't buy this game, right? I should not go back to it. Like, it was to a detriment of doing stuff with my life. I could have been an aspiring broadcaster at that point, or more than an aspiring broadcaster at that point, BJ. I could have been doing more about it instead of running a stupid video game dynasty. I mean, my girlfriend left me. Seriously, I had a girlfriend when we started it. And I remember she came back. She was working at Applebee's on Karcher Mall. And she comes home and she's like, what's going on? I thought we were doing something tonight. And I'm like, babe, it's recruiting. Like, we just finished, and she ended up leaving me. I lost a girlfriend because of that game, BJ. It was kind of funny now, but at the time it was not. It was I missed her, man. But hey,
September 13th, 2003. September 13th, 2003.
Who'd La Tech beat?
20-19. They went and won at Michigan State.
That was it. Yes, I hit that. Luke McCown. Because they won it.
Oh, that's hilarious. The other question I had was, where did you go when you left Idaho?
What do you mean?
You said the dynasty kept going at Idaho because you went to be another coach somewhere else. Where'd you go?
Eastern Michigan, the worst team in FBS at the time. You know, they were in the MAC, and that was kind of my deal. I wanted to build from the ground up. Yep, I went to Eastern Michigan, oddly enough. But yeah, and Idaho was still just a dominating force of college football. That was Sun Belt days for Idaho.
We're getting more comments about this than anything else so far in the show. Let's see. John Reagan says ball game needed a shrink in his 20s. He has some crazy obsession levels. Let's see. They should have named a team Lollygag State so ball game can run his favorite team reference.
Lollygag Tech. Okay. It's Cream Puff U, Cupcake State, and Lollygag Tech.
John's asking if I already gave into Fortnite. When am I going to give my kids smartphones? Not for a while, John. We were fighting.
They don't have phones yet?
No, they don't have phones. My oldest kid's 9. He says kids on the bus have one. He says kids at school have one. But I told him he's probably got to at least get to middle school. So he's got at least 2-3 years before I'm giving him one. He's third grade right now, so at least 6th grade. I'd like to wait till high school. Sounds like that's when I got I don't know about you, Johnny. I got my first cell phone in high school. Nowadays, it does seem like every kid's got one probably by middle school, but we're going to hold off as long as we can on that. Do you remember when you got your first cell phone?
Yeah, I mean, I was in my 20s, man.
Okay. You're old, man. They probably didn't have.
When I went to high school, kids were BJ. I had a beeper in high school. I had a pager, and that was really cool, dude. And then cell phones were starting to come, but it was like way too overpriced, and they kept track of your minutes. And yeah, my parents were not getting me a cell phone in high school. I did get a beeper though.
No, you know what? I had a beeper, and I wish I could remember this. I don't know if it was my dad texting me or if I set up for some service, but I went on a camping trip. Not afraid to admit it. Went on a Boy Scout camping trip. I was in Scouts back in the day. End up getting Eagle Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout, John Mallory.
You're an Eagle Scout?
I am. Believe it or not.
No way. No, are you really? I'm surprised you don't brag about that more.
I don't know if that's worth. You have to get it. You have to get it before you turn 18. Okay. Once you're 18, you're not eligible. And I literally got it the night before my 18th birthday. I was probably the least qualified Eagle Scout of all time, but I did reach Eagle Scout levels. But with that said, I remember going on a Scout camping trip, and I had a beeper, a pager, and somehow I would get updates on the Cardinals score on the Cardinals game on my pager because I had no way to listen or watch the games. And you're out on a camping trip for the weekend. You want to know what's going on in the Cardinals game. So I don't know if my dad was texting me or if I feel like I signed up for some service or something where I'd get updates on the game on my phone. But
remember ESPN came out with a phone for like 8 months. Remember the ESPN phone? Oh, look that up. Yeah, I never had that, but I wanted it.
Hey, appreciate everybody. Let's see what this final comment is here. Would you say the NIL era has positively or negatively impacted the ability to run your BNN business? I would say it's been positive. We've been able to get guys like Tyson Degenhart to do their own show, and we've had guys come out and be involved in the golf tournament and things. Like I think the NIL era, you guys, Johnny, have done some things where you've had players on. You guys scored the first ever Talon Green interview with an NIL deal with some company, I forget. I mean, you guys, if it's used the right way, I certainly think it can be a positive for media.
Yeah, that was a funny deal when we got the Talon interview. I remember like Talon had to go to Andy or whatever and ask, and Andy was not, he probably didn't love his quarterback going on radio shows. But when Talon probably went to Andy and said, hey, there's X amount of dollars attached to this 15-minute interview, Andy was like, go and do it. I mean, that would have been tough to say no, you can't do it. Well, who's going to pay me this money then? Like, it kind of puts the coaches in an interesting bind, right? Well, they don't
people like me were pissed because we were asking for Talon Green for months, and you guys paid and got him on first. I mean, so that is going to be interesting moving forward, because say they don't want Malachi Nelson talking right now, like, who's to say you can't go tell Malachi Nelson, here's $500 will you come on BNN tomorrow? Like, it's a weird era.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go get that $500 for 10 minutes of work. 12 minutes of work. Yeah. If you don't like a question, say no comment. It's okay. Yeah.
I had multiple sponsors wanting to pay Max Rice to come on the show with me and Tust after we had our little beef earlier in the season. Like the next day.
Max said no.
No, I don't think it ever got to him, but I don't think me and Jay wanted to give at that point. We're still, didn't want to, set that precedent that you can just not do an interview and then get paid to do one.
Okay.
But it's NIL era is crazy. But when it comes to media and my business, like, we're kind of, we're not the traditional, beat writing newspaper. We're kind of in the middle. I think there can be some positives to it. So yeah, no doubt. You get the players involved. You got Tyson Degenhart doing his own show, and you had Riley Smith doing stuff at the bowl game for us, where he was doing interviews and players and teammates and got paid for it. So I think it's pretty cool, and I think it's got some cool things moving forward in terms of what it can do. But Johnny,
that's what NIL was supposed to be, right?
Yes.
By the way, that was the spirit of NIL. A kid can make a little bit of name off his likeness by getting a few bucks to go on a radio show or go to a car dealership and do something for the money. Not just when you're in high school and a coach calls you, well, how much are you offering? Well, we haven't even asked you what we want you to do yet. How much are you offering? Like, that's not the spirit of NIL.
I love Ashton Genty, but he's getting $300,000 for NIL apparently, and I don't know one company he's supporting or one thing he's doing. Like, we just haven't seen it. Like, has he
picked up his car yet? He had like a custom Mustang coming with a special tint.
I haven't seen it. And again, but what dealership is that? And you would think there would be a social media post for it or something. I don't understand. Nothing against him or the system. I'm just saying, like, the whole point of the rule was you get money to promote companies and businesses, and I haven't seen any of the promoting the companies or businesses happening yet. I have no idea what causes Ashton Genty's involved with right now, but that's or most of the guys. It's just the way it works. But we'll see what happens. Johnny, I know you haven't had your show meeting yet, but what do we got today on Idaho Sports Talk?
Yeah, Coach D, man. Coach D. How about John Coker tomorrow? We're doing a big deal on Boise State 7-footer, so we have the most meaningful 7-footer in Boise State history tomorrow coming on the show. Steelheads playoff game tonight, BJ. We're obviously excited for the Steelies. We air all those games, so we're going to get people pumped up for the puck dropping at the ICA tonight, and going to be a fun, festive Wednesday edition of the show, but mainly, hell yeah. Coach D, bro, we're ready to talk to him.
I wonder if that's bad karma for my Meridian team today in our playoff game, because the team we're playing is called the Steelheads. So we're playing.
Let's have one Steelheads win tonight.
There you go.
Not the one playing you. and now that you got all this support for intentionally walking the Barry Bonds of Meridian 10 under Liberty
game tonight.
I mean, intentionally walk their best player the whole night. That's what I would recommend.
It was a once in a perfect scenario, man. I'm not doing it again. But
and they booed you, and you felt bad, and appreciate you having me.
I actually texted you. I felt really sick about it. I texted you and said, "Did I make the bad decision here?" And I felt bad about it for a while. But oh well, it's youth baseball. So good luck to the boys tonight in the Meridian Youth Baseball Tournament. So Johnny, appreciate you as always. We'll be listening 3:00. I'll see you down there for Spencer this afternoon, and then 3 to 6 we'll be listening. You'll get to have a full recap and some sound bites of that for folks. 3 to 6 Idaho Sports Talk. That's 95.3 FM, 1350 AM, the KTIK app, KTIK.com, all the ways you can listen. And then tomorrow, 9 a.m., we'll have the announcement of the next TBT tournament member. And then tonight, don't forget, by the way, 8:15, the Tyson Degenhardt Show. We'll talk some softball. I'm going to try to get out there tomorrow at 12:30, Johnny. I know you got the show and work and stuff, but 12:30, single elimination game for Boise State tomorrow in the Mountain West softball tournament. So should be nice weather. Hopefully see some folks out there. So have a great rest of your day. We'll be listening at 3 o'clock to Johnny and Prater. This is Bronco Nation News Live here at Bronco Nation News. By the way, go sign up for the golftournament.com.